My mother's scream shattered the morning like a piercing alarm. It was sharp, panicked, and then there was silence. Then came the question. Who put this here? I didn't answer. I was upstairs, holding my belly with one hand and my tea with the other, a smile spreading across my face for the first time in weeks. It was my baby shower, my first and only one, at 32 weeks pregnant. My ankles were swollen, and heartburn had me feeling like I was breathing fire. Yet, I smiled because for once, I was the center of attention, until he arrived. Ryan, my younger brother, strolled in late, loud, and dressed like he was stepping onto a red carpet. Just as I began unwrapping the first little shoes from my registry, he stood up, clinked his glass and said, "I got into Stanford." Applause followed. Chairs turned. Phones came out. Balloons meant for my baby floated toward him as people gathered around to take his pictures. I was still clutching the booties when someone swept my cake off the table to make space for a congratulatory banner that someone had miraculously produced from their bag. There I stood, forgotten, pregnant, and invisible. It wasn't a new feeling. Ryan had always been the star, the miracle child, the golden boy. I was the one who didn't need as much, the strong one, the helper. I had sacrificed my time, my space, my opportunities. I gave up piano lessons so Ryan could take them. I gave up my bedroom so he could have more space. I gave up my spot in college to help with his tuition when our dad lost his job. My entire life had been about helping him, and on that day, it was no different. So when they turned my baby shower into a celebration for him, I didn't argue. But I didn't forget. That night, I lay in bed, unable to sleep. My back ached. My ribs were crushed, but the thing that hurt the most was the silence. No one saw me, not as a daughter, not as a mother-to-be. I was just background noise. I thought about my daughter and swore she would never feel the way I did. That's when I decided it was time for them to notice me. The plan was formed quietly in my mind, like a whisper beating in my chest. The first step was Ryan. He had already secured housing and enrolled in his classes. But there was one thing he didn't know. Our parents hadn't paid the final tuition deposit yet. They were waiting on a delayed inheritance check. So I made a call to the trust manager, pretending to be my mother. I knew her voice, her tone, her birth date, and her social security number, details I had memorized for when I had to fill out her Medicare forms. I requested a freeze, citing a security breach and promising to call back once everything was verified. It was just a temporary delay, but enough to cause problems. Next, I wrote the note. I crafted it carefully late at night, in my neatest handwriting. You've always loved him more. I've always known, but today made it crystal clear. This baby will not be raised around people who treat her like she's second place before she's even born. Don't worry, I won't ask for anything again ever. I signed my name, folded the note, and left it on the kitchen table the next morning. Then, I packed my bags and drove 3 towns over to stay with my friend Leah. No warning, no location shared. By afternoon, the phone calls began. By evening, Ryan's name was trending in our town's group chat. Apparently, when he went to register for classes, he found out that his funding had mysteriously fallen through. No deposit, no classes. The trust was frozen, pending identity verification. Oops. 3 days later, Dad messaged me. "We're trying to fix this. Can you call us?" I didn't respond. Another text followed. "Ryan is devastated. He might lose his spot. Please, this isn't fair." Was it? Because when my water broke at 2 a.m., I would be alone. And when I brought a life into this world, they would still be celebrating a boy who wasn't even home. Fair. Fair was long gone. 2 weeks later, when the inheritance check cleared, the fees for re-enrollment had doubled. His housing spot had been reassigned. Stanford wasn't so patient anymore. One missed email, one missed payment. That's all it took, especially when your parents are busy chasing a daughter, who finally stopped chasing them. I saw them again 6 weeks later. They showed up at Leah's door, both of them looking like they hadn't slept in days. They asked to meet their granddaughter. I let them in, and they held her, crying, apologizing. But I wasn't looking for an apology. I was looking for understanding. So I asked, "Do you remember what was on my cake?" They blinked, confused. "Exactly," I said. They never forgot again. Silence might be soft, But when used right, it can echo louder than any scream. And now they listen. They see me. Ryan is reapplying to colleges next year. Some lessons can't be taught.